Hi everybody, Cynthia here. I was asked to show how I put together, I have this all ready to go, but I said I would do a tutorial on how I piece together my paper bag card that I tucked some goodies in. So I'm just going to give you the measurements of my card, how I put it together, and then I created this vellum envelope for it to fit in. And the vellum envelope is approximately about a 5.5 by 5.5 envelope. So I'll show you how I did that. Okay, so the size paper bags that I'm using are the standard lunch bags. I picked these up at Walmart. They are 10 5/8 by 5 1/8 of an inch. So they're 5 1/8 inches this way. And then I cut mine off. I cut this little piece off at the 8.5 inch mark, folding it in half. Okay. And that's going to give me a 5 1/8 by 4 1/4 inch card. First, I'm going to start off with my vellum envelope, and I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers punch board, and I'm going to line my vellum is 8.5 by 8.5. I'm going to line it up at the 4 1/4 on this side of my board, and I'm going to punch and score, and then I'm going to line this part, my score line, up with this part on my punch board, and I'm going to punch and score, line this end up with the score guide right here, and punch and score, and do the same thing here, punch and score. Okay, and then I usually flip this around and I round off the edges of my vellum. Okay, let me set that aside, and I'm going to fold up my lines, and this size envelope just gives extra room for the dimension of the paper bag. And I have some Scotch vellum tape, which is acid free, that I'm using. So I'm going to put these two flaps together. I'm going to add a little piece of the tape to the corner here. And then I burnish it really well and pull that up. Kind of like your red line tape. You have to pull a piece up. And then I'm going to add some to this edge and this edge here. I like the vellum tape because it holds really well, and it also, you can't really see it through the vellum, which is nice. And I picked this up at Joann's quite a long time ago, so I don't use it very often. And peel the paper up, and then fold my flap over, and then I run my bone fold over it really well. And see, you can't even see the vellum tape, which is really nice, and then it'll fit in my paper bag card. And like you know, this is pretty dimensional card. because I had tucked in goodies. But this size envelope, Vellum, fits the card in really well. And then I'll just put some, what do you call that? Washi tape on top. Okay, so that's how I created my Vellum envelope. And now for the card, paper bag card. I usually like to use the part with the flap on the left side. I like to use this part as my cover. So my cover piece measures 4 7/8 by 4 1/8 inch, and that's going to leave you with an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. Now before I add my piece of paper to my tape, I have a piece of scrap here that measures about 14 inches. I'm going to cut it in half. This is going to be my closure. I have some Fabri-Tac glue. You can use whatever you prefer. And I'm going to add a little bit of Fabri-Tac to the back here and glue it down to my paper bag. And then I always add a little bit of Fabri-Tac to the top of the ribbon there before I add my paper. Okay, and then my second layer that I'm going to add on to the top of this measures 4 5/8 by 3 7/8, and that gives you 2/8 of an inch border all the way around. All the way around your card. Okay, so I'm going to flip this open, and the first part that I want to do is this inside of the pocket. That piece measures 2.5 by 4 6/8 of an inch. Okay. So I'm going to pull this flap back, line my paper up, and I'm going to adhere that down. And then I'm going to cover my, then I'm going to use some glue on these flaps. I'm just going to pull this bag over, and I'm going to add a little bit of glue here and here. And I think I added a little too much. Okay. See how I have the glue on the edges there? And then I'm just going to close those flaps. Get a paper towel, because I definitely added a little too much there. And this Scotch quick dry adhesive, it dries pretty fast. Okay, so now I just created my pocket that I can add a little, goodie into. Let that dry up. And then my top pocket piece here measures 2 7/8 inch by 4 6/8. And I gotta look at it this way. Sorry guys. Gonna line that up on top. Let that pocket dry really good. Push it down to my bone folder here. And then this piece here on this side measures 4 7/8 by 4 1/8. And you're going to measure that same piece for your back page. Your back piece is also going to measure 4 7/8 by 4 1/8 of an inch. Okay. So now that's all ready to decorate. I can decorate my cover, decorate the inside. We have our little pocket here. Before I put my back piece on, I'm going to use some more of that Fabri-Tac. A little bit of glue on there and kind of line it up with the piece that I have on the front and adhere it down. Put a little bit of Fabri-Tac on top there. And you guys can use, you know, whatever you like. And then I have my back page. And I'm going to lay that on the back. And run my bone folder over it really well. And the ribbon acts as your closure. So you can just tie a little bow or, you know, tie it into a knot, whatever you prefer, trim off the edges. But that's it, guys. That's how you put together a paper bag card and, you know, decorate it however you'd like. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And the paper, I forgot to tell you guys, the paper I used is from TPC Studio All Occasion Paper Pad. This was gifted to me by Scraps and Things 1. Hi, Misha. Here on YouTube. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope that helped. Take care. Have a great day.